When people hear under the influence, they think intoxication, but here it means something deeper. Here it means being moved by real stories, being inspired by greatness, and being influenced by the ones shifting culture forward. The mic isn't for noise, it's for impact. The space isn't for fame, it's for purpose. Welcome to Under the Influence, where we sit down with the voices redefining Nashville from the inside out. You look good.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I do. I feel really, really good.
Yes, I'm a little nervous because you're an expert in these podcast seats.
Yeah, but you're an expert. I just heard you do the intro. Come on now.
Thank you. That means a lot. So as I was going through your story, I admire your grit. I was like, where do you get that from? Is it your mom, your dad, or is it self-made?
I think probably a little bit of a combination of both. Both of my parents are very active. They're always doing something. When I was growing up, my dad was racing sailboats and my mom brought windsurfing to Corpus Christi, Texas. So we were constantly doing something.
Okay.
And so I think I saw that. But as I was growing up, they always told me, Whitney, she always does what she wants to do. Because I'm the type of person that you can't just tell me that, hey, this wall is wood. I'm like, I need to touch it and see if it actually is. So I want to go and try these things and see if I like it or don't like it or how I take to it. And that's just kind of like the energy that I've brought to life.
And do you bring that energy everywhere?
I try. I kind of hope so. And I think I don't even realize that I'm doing it as much. People do have to like you just did, reflect it back to me, because to me, I'm just living my life. I don't really know. And so I can get caught up in that and not really realize what I'm doing in this world or even my accomplishments or anything like that. I just kind of have this tunnel vision. So it is really nice to have somebody to reflect that back to me. So I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, that's cool.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Yeah, I need that.
Yes. And you were an athlete in high school, very competitive. What made you go into the pageant world? We had to be very prim and proper. How was that switch for you?
Oh my God, girl. I was the biggest tomboy growing up. I wanted to be my older brothers. And I would wear corduroy overalls and play football with the neighborhood boys. And my single father raised me. And so I kind of just grew up like a little boy. And so when I decided to go into pageants, my family, first of all, looked at me like I was absolutely insane because it just didn't make any sense. And I really only did it because my best friend at the time was going to do it. And she was like, why don't you just come compete with me? And me being a competitor, I was like, sweet, something else to compete in. So let me at least try it out.
And you came to win.
I did.
Yes.
I did. I didn't anticipate that. That's for sure. I actually did Miss Corpus Christi Teen USA, and I called my dad after I did the interview and was like, hey, don't show up. I didn't do a good job. Don't worry about it. Ended up winning. And then I went to Miss Texas Teen, and that's where they really try to mold you into what I call a pageant patty.
Yes.
And it just wasn't quite clicking for me. I was really trying to put on this mask of who I thought Miss Texas should be. And it came off as disingenuous because it was. And I think people can really read if you're being authentic or not, even if you're in the pageant world where everything can be very polished. Yes. And then I took a break for 6-7 years or something like that. And in college, I was professionally competing in wake surfing. I was just doing my thing,
back in your athletic bag.
Yep. And again, a girlfriend of mine called me and said, hey, do you want to compete in Miss Texas? It's this weekend. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? But as cliche as it sounds, I had that voice in my head that was like, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it. And so I borrowed a dress and shoes and heels and literally everything that I needed for the pageant. Was filling out my bio sheet on the way down there that week, and won swimsuit and won Miss Texas, and then went to Miss United States.
Period. And that's how you do it.
Crazy.
So what did the pageant world teach you about the real world?
It's a place, it teaches you that it's not easy. There's always going to be something that you're going to have to overcome or try and fail. And there's going to be people who are not who are not interested in your best interest. And you have to be okay with that. You have to have thick skin, and you have to stay really centered in who you are and what you stand for, because it's going to be really easy, as we all know, in everyday life to get thrown off kilter at any point, just from someone judging you or calling you cringe or getting mad at you or cutting you off. Like, we're always going to have the mess to clean up.
Yes.
And pageants, I think, really just helped me stay a little bit more centered and grounded and not totally flip out when I wanted to.
That's cool. So how did they like help you stay centered and grounded? Because like going into that kind of arena, that kind of make you can go have anxiety spike and all that.
I mean, you're trained. Let's not get it twisted. You know, like, you're trained on what to do, how to stand, where to look, when to smile, how to do a fake laugh exactly at the right moment. Like, you are trained to a T on how to get a reaction out of the world around you. So you're manipulating people a little bit, but you can use it to your advantage. And I know that can sound like, oh God, you're manipulating the world, but not necessarily, because you're just allowing yourself to show the best sides of yourself under pressure.
That's like 48 laws of power. I think that's like power number 12.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
I mean, that's a great book. I haven't read the whole thing, so I don't know. What is that, Stephen Pressfield or something?
What's his name? Oh, Green.
Robert Greene.
Robert Greene. I knew it. It was in my back pocket. But no, speaking of, like, we want the tea on the pageant world. Because, you know, you're around all these girls. You're not used to being around, like, all these girls. Like, how do you navigate, like, the fake girl support, the jealousy, and, like, because you guys are all going after this one title.
We're all going after this one title. And I came out of nowhere. You know, a lot of these people compete their entire lives. Toddlers in tiaras are now 20-something-year-old women competing for this.
And then here you come fresh off from surfing with your surfboard. I'm here to win.
And I was there to win, because that's my thing. All growing up, if I didn't, in track and field, we were just talking about track a little bit, track, soccer, cheerleading, cross country, diving, I'm trying to think, surfing, sailing. I competed in all of those growing up. And if I did not get a first place ribbon or trophy, it went in the trash.
What? From your parents or you?
For me. It was not good enough.
I love that. So you always had like a high standard for yourself.
A very high standard for myself, which can bite me in the ass for sure. And it has, and it does. But it also has been that thing that's helped me accomplish so much in my life.
How do you keep the balance between the two?
It's not easy all the time. Like, sometimes all I want to do so badly is accomplish at the highest level. And if I'm not doing that, then I feel kind of shitty. I feel like a failure, you know, and I feel like maybe the people aren't going to love me. Maybe my husband's not going to love me anymore because I'm not doing all of these things that, you know, externally look so beautiful. And, you know, I can put that first place ribbon on it, or I can put the top, you know, label on it.
Yes.
So it's hard to sometimes keep that. But I think reminding myself of looking back and being like, it's okay if I don't get first place. If you just get close enough to something, you just barely kiss it. Do you know how much of an accomplishment that is for anybody? It's either like first place or nothing. No, it's anything up to that point is actually the win, not getting the win. Anything up to that is a win.
75% is still passing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now fast forward, you're Miss United States 2012. You're doing fight camps in Thailand, fighting tigers, and now podcasting. You know, that's not the traditional trajectory of a podcaster. What stories were you needing to tell at this time?
Well, our podcast was very taboo. It was very controversial. It was called True Sex and Wild Love, and I hosted it. I mean, there is nothing off limits with me. TMI does not exist in my world. I loved it. And that's why I wanted a podcast. Okay. Was because I want to talk about all of the things that's being talked about behind closed doors that no one is brave enough to say out loud, but yet all of us are talking about it, wanting to hear about it, having questions about it. So I had a co-host, Dr. Wednesday Martin, who New York Times bestselling and social scientist for female sexuality and female infidelity. Yes. And
women don't cheat. Women do not cheat.
No, right. Actually, according to science in the studies that she was doing, it actually shows that women have a harder time with monogamy than men do.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Hey, that's not too far from the truth.
So it's just interesting because everything that we've been taught about women's sexuality and women's health, even and sexual health, is kind of being flipped on its head. And she was kind of the pioneer around that. So I couldn't think of a better co-host to have. Yeah. And we brought on doctors and authors and gynecologists and doulas and porn stars and escorts. Like, we talked to everybody in the field, and it was just so cool because we got to get this information out there in a really fun way, and it gave the people what they wanted to talk about.
I love that. Now, you had a second podcast too.
That was the main one. I'm starting a new one now. Yeah. But yeah, that was the one I had a few years ago. Now I'm revamping, getting back into the podcasting space.
I love that. But can we go back just a little bit about the podcast that coincided with you being in a very public, open relationship? How did you navigate that publicly?
Not well. No, it was, I mean, he had a very large platform and still does. And I was growing my platform and had a great platform too. And so that podcast, True Sex and Wild Love, we talked so much about being in that open relationship. And I think partly a lot of it was me being brave and wanting to open my world up so people could see, well, maybe there is another way to do relationships, you know, because we're taught one way, yet the divorce rate is sky high and no one can talk about having a relationship any other way. Otherwise, you're a psycho. Yes. And so it was like, no, I want to be able to have these conversations. And because I'm such an open person, that's what was going on in my life at the time. And so I wanted to be able to talk and share about that. And a lot of the times I was still processing what was going on. And so I think, like, looking back, I would definitely, now where I'm at now, I would handle things differently and allow myself to process and feel what was actually going on behind closed doors, instead of like feeling like I had to have an answer. I had to coach the audience or coach myself through it immediately.
Yes. So now, do you feel like you had the chance to process it?
I mean, I'm still processing it. Yeah. It was a very long-term relationship. It was 8 years. We were engaged for like 5 of that, maybe. And it was all through my 20s. I was 22 to the time I was 30. And so not only were we in this public, open, polyamorous relationship, which we had no clue what we were doing. Yeah. And so it was like trying to get somewhere with zero roadmap. Like, you're going to hurt each other in the process. And we absolutely did that over and over and over again. Now, we had amazing times too. That relationship taught me so much about relating to other people, honesty. Like, you have to be so honest in that type of relationship, to where in a normal monogamous relationship, you can kind of like, oh, I don't need to talk about that. Yeah. Everything came to the surface.
Where you said, like, in the open relationship, that taught you how to have relationships with women.
Yeah, that was the most surprising part about it. Was you would think in an open relationship, you would be like, fuck that. You know, I don't want to talk to that girl. And I was like that. I had zero interest in being friends with these other women because they were with my boyfriend at the time and then fiance. And so I was very jealous, and I had always been very jealous growing up. This helped me understand where and why my jealousy was coming up, as opposed to just being totally reactive to it in the moment and just writing somebody off because I felt jealous over something. And so when these other women would be in the relationship, I didn't get to just be jealous and go off on my own and decide that I hate them. I had to sit down and have a conversation with them about some of the most intimate, scary, you know, insecurities that I had about myself and my relationship, and they had to do the same for me. And I think once you realize that you're sitting down and talking to another human being without all of the crap that you want to put on top of it, that's when you can get really deep with somebody. And it showed me that women aren't out to hurt each other most of the time, you know? And even like the first girl that was in the relationship with us, she's my absolute best friend. She's like a sister to this day. Oh, wow. It was crazy. We moved to Nashville together.
Oh, wow. We're going to get into you moving into
Nashville.
So
we got rid of him and we kept each other. We were like, you know what? God brought me and Stephanie together through him, and he's thankfully gone, and now we get each other.
Thank you for the blessing.
Exactly.
You know, and he also did invite you on his podcast. So what would old Whitney's response have been, and what would your response be now?
No, I'm not going to. I have no interest in having that conversation. The thing is like, I know how good he is with words, and I know how he justifies his actions with words. And I'm not interested in sitting down with someone who can't hear me or get curious about my experience with it. And so I think I'm at the point now where I'm empowered within myself that I have nothing to prove to him anymore. You know, like, I'm good here. I don't need to sit down and have a conversation with you. I've had conversations with you millions of times, you know? Like, you go ahead and live your life and whatever that is, and I'm going to do mine, and I don't have to be connected to that person anymore. And it's not really coming from a place of hate. It's just coming from a place of, I don't want that in my life anymore. And I'm okay with that.
Healing.
It's heal. Yeah, it feels like healing. Yeah, and freedom.
Yes, it looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, I noticed there is a name change from Whitney Love to just Whit. So what was the misalignment in the back then that you had to go in and conquer now and give us Whit?
It wasn't necessarily a misalignment. It was just I was ready to step into like a new space and like a new energy within myself. And my whole family and friends, they've all called me Whit growing up, and that just felt more me and who I was. And during that open relationship and that podcast, it was all Whit and Love and Whitney Love and Whit Love this. And I think it just felt more a timestamp on that time period as opposed to me coming into my own and like dropping certain things and just owning Whit.
I love that. And we might be cousins. I'm Debria Love and you're Whitney Love.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. And so you decide one day to leave it all behind and you come to Nashville. What were you searching for?
Freedom. I was absolutely searching for freedom. But at the same time, I wanted to get into music. And my whole life, still to this day, actually, I'm petrified to sing in front of anybody or in public. And
you would never think.
Oh my God. I mean, absolutely terrified, girl. And this has been like one of the hardest journeys I've had to try to overcome because it really is like my physical body responds to thinking about getting on stage and singing in front of people. And so I always wanted to try to do that. It was something that lived in me my whole life.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I wanted to do it, I needed to move to Nashville and do that. And so I had just gone through this breakup and I was like, it's either now or never, you know, like, and it's not that I was confident in myself to move here. I didn't put my hand in there and be like, I'm going to go to Nashville. I'm going to be a big star. It was like, what was worse was staying where I was at. And I was just staying in that old energy and not believing in myself and like betraying who I really wanted to be. That scared me more than coming up here. And so I was like, screw it. Let's come up here. My best friend moved up here with me, like I said, which, by the way, total proponent for people who want to move in with each other in their 30s. If you're single and you and your girlfriend want to move in with each other, it is so much fun. Okay?
I love that.
And I don't even care what decade it is. If you're 40, 50, 60, 70, and you're divorced or you're single, move in with your best friend.
You said a real good gem. The mediocrity scared you more than the fear of the unknown. I love that.
Yeah.
And we'll be back after this. You're in Nashville now, roommates with your best friend, no blueprint, starting over. What did that teach you about yourself?
That I could do it, you know, that confidence. So people ask me a lot of the time about confidence. Like, where do you get your confidence? Confidence was not my starting point. I had to fake it. I was more scared of looking not confident than I was of trying to be confident, if that makes any sense. And so like being in Nashville taught me that I could get on stage and I could sing and I could do the thing that made me the most scared, and I was stronger than that fear.
And who told you couldn't sing?
I had someone really close to me when I was younger, like a very, very close person. And to me, that translated as they don't love me. And if I don't do good enough, probably one of the reasons why I always had to have first place ribbons as well is that I had to earn love. And if it wasn't pretty and it didn't sound good and I didn't get first place and I wasn't the best and I wasn't lovable. And so that's something I actually still work on in therapy today.
I love you.
Thank you.
So when did you exactly find your voice?
Oh, I don't know if there's a single point. I think being in Nashville for the last 5 years or 4 years has all led up to me finding my voice. And it's been through working on myself. It's been through speaking my truth. It's been through songwriting and singing and getting on stage and speaking as openly and honestly as possible. I can't put my finger on one thing, and I don't know if many people can, because I think there's so many moments in life that make up where you're at in this exact moment.
Yeah. There's like a quote, like everything prepared you for this moment right here.
Mm-hmm. And if one single thing changed, you wouldn't be right here, which is I think about that often. It's so wild.
Yes. Is that serendipity or is that something else?
I don't know. I think it's also called the butterfly effect, right?
Okay. Butterfly effect. We'll search it later. Chat. So country music is all about storytelling. So what is your story and what chapter are we in right now?
I am in the best chapter of my life.
Love that.
I cannot even begin to tell you. I feel like for so much of my life, I have been trying to reach a certain point and like trying to prove myself and trying this out and doing this on. And like, is this me or is this me? And I'm in this point to where I'm the most me that I've ever am or could be. Ooh. And it's like, I can relax into who I am. You know, 2025 was the biggest year of my entire life. I got engaged.
Congratulations.
I got married. And then I found out I'm pregnant.
And you gonna give us the drop on here. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Abundance.
2025, the universe was like, what else can we squeeze in there for this girl?
How good can it get?
Yeah.
How good can it get?
Right.
So I want to know, I guess, is that the season that you're most proud of right now?
I am most proud. Yeah, I am most proud of that. There's been so many times that I've stood up for myself. I've pivoted in ways that felt more me, and I wasn't concerned about what everyone else was going to think about it. I'm releasing music that feels more me. I feel softer. I feel like I honestly give less fucks to, you know?
Amen.
And it's not that it made me careless. It just made me more grounded and more centered.
I love that. And that's what life is all about. And also, you are now married, as you say.
Yeah.
What was the intentional work you had to do to open your heart up to be open to love again?
Well, as soon as I met Ryan, I knew that this was going to be something significant. And I put myself directly into therapy because I was like, oh, girl, you got some things you need to clean up.
Okay.
And I knew that if it wasn't for that relationship, it was only going to make me better for myself or for another relationship. And so I just did the intentional work to remove any hooks or insecurities or things that were coming up. Because I realized he wasn't doing anything. He was calm, cool, collected. He put in the effort. He was constantly calling me. Like, he was showing up as a man and as the man that I wanted to be with. And I was still afraid of that. And there was no reason for me to be afraid of it other than my past controlling my future. And I was not about to have that.
Yeah. You are like such... Can I cuss on my own show? You're like so bad. Like, I was reading your captions like on your Instagram, and you are that in real life. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Yes, like such a boss.
Thanks. I don't feel like that a lot of the times, and that's like one of the messages that I want to put out there is like it is the captions and the confidence and like the poise, I guess, is a part of me, but it's because I mess up all the time. And it's because I'm afraid a lot of the time that it's so normal for us to like compare ourselves to other people, and especially with social media. We look at everyone like, oh my God, they have it so figured out. Girl, no, they don't. No one has anything figured out. We're all just flailing and trying our best to get through life. And so we can just realize that we're all in this together and our intricacies of how our life might be different. It's like it takes the pressure off and it makes life more fun because that's what we're here to do.
I love that. And so how would you define success? What is success for you?
Success is being happy and fulfilled in your life. And I know people want to be like, well, what's your passion? And what does that exactly mean? It's like if you wake up in the morning and you can take a deep breath. Like that to me is success. And for a lot of my life, so much of it was accomplishing, but I didn't feel accomplished. And so I couldn't exhale. I couldn't take that deep breath. And so if I'm doing things that support that exhale and support who I am, that to me is total success.
I love that.
Thank you.
We're finna have a little fun now. You ready for a game?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. This first game is called Sip or Spill. So you can either sip if you don't want to spill the tea.
Okay.
And we have vinegar water.
Yes.
Smells lovely. So this is a pageant, public image category. What is something specific you were encouraged not to say in order to be Miss United States?
Ooh, something I was encouraged not to say. I don't think I was really encouraged to be myself at all. I think they really wanted me to be Miss Pageant Patty Barbie. And as you can tell, I'm a little rough around the edges. And they wanted to smooth that out to where I was unrecognizable.
What is a misconception about pageants that still annoys you today?
That everyone that competes are out to get each other. Like, there's actually some really nice people and really nice girls that are in there. And they're pretty intelligent. Like, you have to be intelligent to be in a pageant.
Okay, now we're going into career shifts and independence. What is a specific moment when you realized starting over was the right call, even if it hurt?
I would say I was working for Glory Kickboxing, and I was interviewing the world champion at Madison Square Garden live on ESPN. And I had this thought in my head that was like, why are you telling his story when you have someone else? Why are you telling his story when you have your own story to tell? And that was a big epiphany for me. And I knew I had to quit my job, which was my dream job at the time, and go off and start my own podcast and become an entrepreneur.
What is a sacrifice that you didn't expect when choosing independence as an artist?
How hard it is, and particularly for women, you know. In the country music space, women get played less, I think, than 10% of the time. And so I just didn't realize how much harder we had it. And it was the space is a snake pit as well. And it can disenchant you very quick. And if you don't want to continue fighting that battle over and over again, then don't do it. Like, just don't.
You're a warrior. You're ready to fight the battle.
Sometimes, honestly, girl, I'm like, do I want to do that? I go back and forth on it all the time.
Okay, our next category is love, marriage, and identity. What is something that marriage taught you about yourself that surprised you?
Oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. I didn't realize how amazing being married is, because you always hear the horror stories.
That is so refreshing to hear you say that.
Girl, you know, and the other thing was he's my ground wire, and he makes me feel like I can literally go off and do anything. And that the things that I was once afraid of and like, oh God, what is the world going to think? Or what happens if I fail? It doesn't matter anymore, because I have him at the end of the day, and I know that he's going to love and support me, that like, it really feels like I'm unstoppable in a way. And I did not expect that whatsoever, because I'm Miss Independent.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't need a man at all. I wore the pants in the relationship. And here I met this man that totally flipped that on its head and showed me that together with him, he actually makes me stronger and believe in myself more just by being him.
I love that. Gives me so much hope.
Good, it should, because it's out there.
What is the version of love that you no longer accept?
I don't accept being someone's second. I don't accept being, you know, an afterthought. It's like, it's me and you, and we're in this together, or it's not. I want that beautiful, deep, almost fairy tale type of love. And that's what I know that I deserve. And I know that it's out there, because that is something that I have now.
You're going to heal so many people. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thanks. What is the biggest difference between love then and love now?
Love then was almost like a performance. And I felt like I always had to mold myself into something in order to be loved, and constantly ask if it was good enough to be loved. Now, all I have to do is be myself, and I already am loved. Like I was saying, you know, like he's my ground wire. And I feel like that in my friendships, in my family. It's just me showing up solely as myself without trying to earn anything actually gives me the love that I truly want and desire.
And this next category is called Truth Serum.
I wish I had tequila in here now.
I know. We got vinegar. It's the same burn.
Yay.
What is a specific moment when you had to choose peace over proving a point?
I recently got threatened to get sued by my ex for a book that I'm writing. And I decided that I wasn't going to take that anymore. And I responded in a very direct way that he doesn't have control over what I say and how I say it. And that set me free, and that created more peace within me than trying to prove anything.
What is the hardest identity that you had to let go of?
That I had to be the best, that I had to be this person. And like I said, in order to be loved, like that is my biggest core wound, I would say. And being able to like release that as much as I can has been really hard and really scary because it feels vulnerable as heck. But I think it's the one thing that like empowers all of us as soon as we're as authentic as possible, which yes, I know is scary, but that's when you can have the most fun. That's when you can try things like starting a podcast or writing a book or singing a song or starting a company. Is like you get authentic with yourself and try from that place, knowing that you can take care of yourself if and when you inevitably fail.
Yes.
You got it.
You got it. And is there something you're still unlearning?
I'm unlearning how to, there's so much. I'm unlearning how to mainly, I think, judge myself, like stop judging myself and being my harshest critic, because the loudest voice in all of our heads is usually our own, but particularly the one that tells you suck. And so you have to really watch what voice you're listening to, because you're listening to your own, and you can either be really good and you can believe that one, or you can really suck and believe that one.
Yes.
And so I'm just I'm learning how to turn that voice way down.
I love that for you. And that is the end of Sip or Spill.
Oh.
You didn't have to sip anything.
I didn't.
I guess I got it. No, I'm just playing. All right, this next game is called This or That. You can get with this or you can get with that.
All right.
So, structure or freedom?
Freedom.
Writing alone or collaborating?
Collaborating.
Studio sessions or live performances?
Ugh. To both. Studio, though.
Will Michael Jackson say, I love touring. I love to go on tour?
I mean, I wish I did. That's the thing.
Releasing independently? Well, 2020... You've been getting blessed all year, so a tour may be up.
Yeah, maybe.
Releasing independently or waiting for the perfect moment?
Both. Waiting for the perfect moment while releasing independently would be great.
I think we can let that one pass. Crown life or creative freedom?
Creative freedom.
Red carpet interviews or under the influence?
Oh, come on. Under the influence. Duh.
Public approval or personal alignment?
Personal alignment. Yes. But I do like public approval.
Fight camp intensity or creative flow?
Fight camp intensity.
Ooh.
Hit me with it.
I gotta go to a class with you.
Yeah, let's go. I bring all my girls.
That can be the next video.
Let's do it.
Okay, mental toughness or emotional awareness?
That's a tough one. Emotional awareness.
Okay. Why that one?
I know I'm going back and forth to mental toughness too, but I think if you are aware of what controls you, you are then in control.
I love that. Okay. Training alone or team energy?
Team.
Okay. Miranda Lambert or Casey Musgraves?
Miranda Lambert. Love her.
Storytelling or melodic hooks?
Storytelling.
Acoustic guitar or full band sound?
Full band.
Okay. Quiet mornings or late night creativity?
Oh, quiet mornings. I ain't got late night creativity. I start shutting down around 3 p.m.
Routine or going with the flow?
Going with the flow.
Nature reset or city energy?
Nature reset.
I love it. And Whitney Love,
yeah.
Whit, you have been under the influence.
It's been so much fun. Thank you.
See you guys on the next episode.